How's everyone doing today? I hope they're doing great. I want to talk to you about the carburetors for the motorized bicycle. I got the PWK 24 versus the HP. Which one is better? Actually, they both got pros and cons. Okay, this one here, when you start out, you got to pull the choke up, and once it's warmed up, you got to push that choke back down manually. Okay. Every time you change out the jets, which is in the bottom, you have to adjust the air fuel screw, which is right here. And you got to adjust the idle. You got to constantly adjust it. And this is good carburetor, don't get me wrong. It gives you a lot of speed, and it works, and it's real good. However, it uses a lot of gas. I have a gallon tank of gas on my bike, and I've used, in that gallon tank, I went about 75, 80 miles using this type. I got PW 28 on my bicycle. I think people seen the pictures around of my bicycle with the big red carburetor on it. That's a 28. This is a 24. Pretty much the same carburetor. But every time you do anything to these, you got to adjust that idle screw. And you got to get the idle screw just right, because if you don't, you're going to have problems. You're going to have the bike taken off on you. It's going to vibrate you to death. It's going to use a lot of gas, and it's going to burn you up. Now, they're good if you want to race. If you want to race your bike and you're into racing bicycles, this would be the carburetor to do. Just go for it. They do vibrate a lot. They use a lot of gas, and they go real fast. However, if you're looking more for a cruising type of bicycle, same engine, but you just want to cruise and want to take your time, take it easy. Now, that's where you go to the HP carburetor. Now, this is more of a user-friendly type carburetor. You see, I got already set up. Already got the throttle cable inside it already, ready to be hooked up. So, but this is more of a user-friendly. This here, when you first start out, you have what I call an automatic choke. You push the choke down, it stays. Once the engine is warmed up, I don't know how it works, but then, of course, this will pop up. It'll pop back up by itself. So you ain't got to mess with it. Automatic choke, which is nice. If you want to put a bigger jet in it, where you open up the bottom and you put the different jet in it, you ain't got to adjust nothing after that. Just put the jet in it, put it back on your bike, and go. This has a nice airflow to it, and it does work really, really good. As far as a nice flow, and it gives you the speed you want. You can get the same speed out of this as you can with this. However, this, I believe, in my opinion, gives you more performance than the PWK or the bigger carburetors, okay? It gives you more, I don't know about performance, but it gives you a really high performance, and it doesn't use that much gas. You can go just as fast. And it's user-friendly, and it's good for beginners. The beginners, unless you're a rocket scientist, you really don't want to use this big carburetor, even though a lot of people do, and I have the PW28 on my bike. I'm going to switch out the PW28 for this HP. Because at PW28, not only do I suck a lot of gas, I go like a rocket. And it does give a lot of vibration. The PW carburetors do give out a lot of vibration. They're more designed for mopeds, smaller motorcycles, racing motorcycles. They're not really designed for a motorized bicycle. However, people do adapt them to motorized bicycle. I did it only as an experiment, and I wanted to put smaller jets in it, which means I would have to adjust the fuel intake screw. I would have to adjust everything else, the needle that's inside. The needle that's inside the HP carburetor in here is a stable needle. You never have to adjust that inner needle. That needle is always It's a stable needle. Never have to adjust it. Never have to mess with it. See, this is a more or less a user friendly, and it does give you the high power you want. Put the size jet you want in there, and as far as airflow, well, this air filter isn't really stable on it. This actually comes off, and you can actually take this air filter off and change over that air filter to get more airflow if you want it. It actually fits. And so it's more of a user-friendly. It's more for beginners and user-friendly, and I really enjoy this one. And the problem is I have an MS460. Now, how am I going to fit that small hole onto an MS460? Well, they don't make adapters to adapt them, so I have to come up with my own adapter. And so far, I've almost got it solved. And when I get it solved, I will show you the adapter I made, how I made it. And I was thinking about, putting a patent on them, putting them on Amazon and selling them, but no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to show you guys how I made the adapter for the MS460, because, see, MS460 don't have the 2 bolts on the side where I can put in a regular adapter that they sell. It has just the one hole. Just one hole, that's it. So I have to make an adapter. And this has a way you can adjust it. You can loosen this screw up here, and you can adjust this back and forth for your gas line. Because your gas line will come out of the tank on the other side of the bike, and you can weave it down through it, and you can adjust this. It'll go back and forth. I don't have a screwdriver, otherwise I'd show you. So pretty much, as far as what I like this one a little bit better than the PWK 2428. Even though they are great carburetors, I do like them, but you have to, when you adjust one thing on a PWK, or those bigger carburetors like that, you have to adjust everything. The fuel air mixture, the idle, everything. These, you switch out the jet, you're good to go. And if you want more airflow, like I said, you can take this off, put one of the bigger air filters from the PWK on there, or you can actually order the different air filters on Amazon, a couple bucks or whatever, and you can get a bigger air filter for more airflow. And pretty much, I like these. And when I first got them, I thought they were crap. I thought they didn't do shit, but see, I didn't understand how they worked. I was used to adjusting everything on the carburetor, and these you don't have to. They're very, very user-friendly. So, I mean, a lot of people disagree with me. Some people will agree with me. I asked bikeberry.com if they had an adapter for this. They don't have one. I've looked all over Amazon for an adapter for this, for the MS460 and the 440. So I'm going to make one. It's a little bit more difficult than I thought it would be. But as soon as I get it done, and I've been working on it for almost 2 weeks now, and I've got it half done. I've got the attachment part to the MS460 I got done. The part to go in here to the MS460, that's the part I'm working on. And when you see it and you look at it, you're going to say, whoa, that's easy. I can do that. Well, I hope so. So eventually when I get the adapter done, it'll all be good. But yeah, these carburetors are great. This is a 24, like I say, a 28 on my bike. And I'm going to mess with that 28 to try to get it, to where I can ride the bike without going super fast. Because, I'm at quarter throttle and I'm doing 45 miles an hour. Oh, hey, man, I'm going to get me one of those. Don't. Because it will vibrate your bike apart. Every time I get done playing with the bike or riding the bike, I have to adjust and tighten up every screw and every bolt on the bike. It vibrates the hell out of my bike. These were, like I said, made for mopeds or ATVs or go-karts, are what these were made for. And people, adapt them to their motorized bike. And some people don't mind, going through and retightening everything and like that vibration, that speed, and okay, but like I said, as far as speed, you can make this go as fast as this. Okay, you can make them both go the same speed, except this one you can make it go a little bit faster. You can manipulate this a little bit more, but you get more vibration and you use a lot more gas, and it's not really user friendly if you don't know carburetors. This is the most user friendly. There's an NT carburetor. The carburetor that comes with a kit. It's an NT carburetor. These carburetors are only like $20. This one cost me $75. So yeah, and it's more of a high profile, high, it's a really good carburetor for a racing, for someone who wants to race and put on an ATV, or if they put on a motorized bike, it's good for racing. This is a HP, stands for high performance. In other words, it allows the engine to perform at the maximum, well, with very little work. Okay, that's what the HP stands for. Everybody thinks, well, I'm gonna put this little racing carburetor, I'm gonna zoom all over the place. Well, you can if you adjust the air filter and you put in a different jet in the bottom. Now, the thing is that it's a 5 millimeter jet here, and they're really small. In fact, I think I got a couple here. They're really small jets. I got 156 jets in there and 145 jets in there, and for this, okay. And then your jets that you put in the PWK, they're a little bit bigger. They're a little bit bigger, and they will go a little fast. They will go faster, but however, if you do it right, you can make this expel the same speed. Not really the same speed. You can make it go. I've only found for this one, I found maybe 146 was the top for the highest jet. Maybe they make them higher. I don't know. But the PWK, you can make them go, shit, you got 195 jets for that. That's basically strictly for motorcycle racing, mopeds, stuff like that. And I thought it would be a smart ass, put it on my motorized bike, and man, I wiped out. When I first put that PWK 28 on there, I wiped out. I slid about 50 feet across the parking lot. That thing just took off. The whole bike had to be readjusted. I had to tighten up the motor. I had to tighten up everything. I mean, nothing happened to the motor or the bike, but it all vibrated loose. They're not really designed for motorized bikes. More or less, the NT and the HP are the carburetors that I would personally recommend. There are people that will recommend. Now, as far as the PWKs, it's a good brand. Excellent carburetor. Don't get me wrong. I think the biggest carburetor that you should put on, as far as if you go with these PWKs or any carburetor like this, is probably a 24. Me, like a dumbass, I did a 28. Thought I was being a smart ass. So I learned my lesson. It sucks a lot of fuel. It tears you apart. It's just really not made for a motorized bike. The highest I've seen, and the highest I was told by 10 different motorized bicycle YouTubers, use the 24 at the maximum if you decide to go this route. And going this route is good. If you know carburetors, you know how to work this, it'd be great for you. But if you're a new motorized bicyclist, a user-friendly carburetor would be the HP or the NT carburetor, because they are very user-friendly, very easy to use, very easy to learn. These here, you adjust one thing, you gotta adjust everything. These here, you adjust one thing, you adjust the jet, which is in the bottom. I don't have my screwdriver with me, but you adjust the jet in the bottom, put a different jet in it, put it back on, put it on your bike, boom, you're good to go. These here, spend a half a day adjusting them, and you go extra fast, and excuse me, just getting over a cold. But these here are very user friendly. I like these. Okay, a lot of people, I'm gonna, like I said, when I get the adapter all built and ready to go, I'm gonna make a separate video for that, and hopefully, I'm gonna do it especially for BikeBerry, because I emailed them. They emailed me back, so we don't have anything like that. Well, I'm gonna do this basically for BikeBerry and for myself, because I really like this carburetor. This carburetor is nice. Okay, it's a good carburetor. It's basically an automatic carburetor is what I call it, because everything on it is automatic. So the needle inside is stable. The choke is automatic. It's a really good carburetor for those who are just starting out and beginners. And when you get more of the professional, you can switch over to these big ones. But then, like I said, you're going to be... So that's pretty much about it. I'm Jim with Life's Adventures, keeping it real.